Welcome all viewers to our online seminar on Fisher Innovative Anchor Technology and Anchor Design Software. In this online seminar, we will address the most frequently asked questions popping up for Anchor technology and also find some tricks and tips for Anchor designing software that is experienced. Before we begin, let me introduce myself. My name is Ansel Mascarenas, and I work as a specification engineer for Fisher. I have over 5 years of experience in the construction industry, and I have completed my Bachelor's of Engineering in Civil. Let me also mention the time split of this online seminar. We will have the seminar for a duration of 45 minutes and 10 minutes will be allotted for question and answer session, which you can mention in the questions tab. Also, 5 minutes for the polls and feedback session. Also, I would want to let you know a few of the tips for you to have better experience on this online seminar. Please use only Google or Firefox. Avoid using Internet Explorer. Please do not do any parallel downloads during the course of this online seminar. The questions what you have asked will be answered at the end of the session, depending on the time with us. Also, please note in mind that the certification of participation will be provided only to the attendees who have attended 80% of this entire online seminar. Before we go into our topic, I would just like to brief you on few interesting facts on Fisher. So Fisher Group of Company was founded by our author Fisher. And you can see on your screen on the left-hand side that he is standing with his innovation, the famous S-plug. Fisher Group of Company now is taken care by Professor Klaus Fischer. Over the last 72 years, Fisher has earned a worldwide reputation for designing, building, and also engineering of heavy machine industries. Fisher has over 50 subsidiaries in 35 countries. Fisher employs more than 5,000 people worldwide. And the most important or the key USP of Fisher is that we have over 1,500 patents on industrial building patents all over the world. Coming to our services, we provide on-site trainings and demos. We do pull-out tests. We cover designs. We give our software support. We provide documentation support, international technical support, as well as project references. Fisher offers a wide range of products. Let me just brief you on a few. So we begin with steel anchors, chemical anchors, nylon anchors, supports and hanger, fire stop, facade system, and massive systems. Now I would like to call upon our speaker, that is Mr. Soumen Chaudhary. So Mr. Soumen works as a senior field engineer for the UAE. He has over 7 years of experience in fixing systems and specialized for the last 3 years in installation systems. Soumen has completed his Bachelor's of Engineering in the field of civil. Hi, Soumen.
Thank you, Ansel. Good afternoon, everyone. So today, I hope you will join us with a meaningful session, and we will be showing our software and also the selection process for our anchors. Yeah.
Thank you, Soumen. So Soumen, when we begin, let me ask you the most frequently asked question.
Yeah.
That is, what are the parameters that are considered while selection of anchors?
Yeah. That is very critical stage. So before you select an anchor, you should go through the parameters and then you select your anchors. So there are different parameters like base material, actions or loading, installation type, bearing mechanism, environment, and also approvals required. So basically, after all these things, you have to choose your anchor size and also the design method. Now, I will go through the base materials. In our industry, basically, there are 3 types of base material available. One is concrete, masonry, and board elements. So all 3 base material will have different fixings for different arrangements. Coming to the type of loading and actions, there are different loadings. So as per the requirement, you can have the static load, dynamic load, seismic or earthquake load, and in case of fire also it can be designed. Coming to installation type. So there are basically three types of installation. One is pre-positioned installation, as you see in the picture, that you are first anchoring the anchor first inside the drill hole, and then you are putting your base plate. So it is pre-positioned. So you are fixing the anchor first. But if you see the push through, it is exactly opposite. You are drilling through the base plate and you are fixing your anchor. So this is called push through installation. And third one is stand-off installation. So this is basically when you have a base plate which is not exactly with the substrate, away from the substrate. So this is called stand-off. You can see in the picture how it has been fixed. Coming to the bearing mechanism, there are three types of load bearing mechanism involved for anchoring. So the first one is expansion anchors. Basically, for the steel anchors would be fixed due to friction inside the drill hole. Number two is resin bonding anchors. So basically, these are all the chemical anchors which would be fixed with bonding inside the hole. It can be either threaded rod or rebar or special type of anchors. Number three is undercut anchors. This makes a mechanical interlock inside the hole. So these are the most common three mechanisms available for anchoring. A very important point is environmental effect. So you have to choose your anchor based on your environmental condition, inside, outside, where you are fixing. Basically, that would be your environmental condition, and most of the time a physico-chemical interaction between metal and its environment makes a change in properties of the steel anchors, so which can affect also in the performance of your steel anchors. So that's why Fischer is having different versions of anchoring, which is zinc plated steel, stainless steel, and high corrosion resistant steel. Coming to the approvals, it is much required because you should have a prior test before you install your anchors. So we have some authority who gives us approval for our anchors, like ETA, European Technical Authority, FM Global, who gives FM certificate, International Code Council, ICC, and last but not the least, the Institute of Building and Environmental, who gives the environmental product approval. So these are the approvals, and then we'll go into deep for the anchoring.
So Somin, this brings me to my next question, that is designing of fixings important?
For sure, Ansil, many more accident happens due to anchor failure. So that is what we always recommend, to do a prior check for the anchors. So for that, our fixed experience topics comes and the software topics comes. So when you have a software who can do the calculation for the particular arrangement, then you are safe.
So Somin, just for our viewers here, can you give like a very brief example on just what you have mentioned now?
For sure. So there are many failure happens due to incorrect anchor selection and wrong anchor chosen. So as you see here in this picture, you have a lamp post which had to fix to a narrow concrete upstand. So the base plate is fixed with 4 anchors, and contractor has used M16 expansion anchor. So as they used mechanical anchors during the installation, concrete got damaged. And as you see, there is a failure at the edge. I would not be surprised to see such installation, because large diameter of anchor, expansion anchor has been used, which is very close to the edge, which is only 50 mm, whereas the requirement was 80 mm.
So for this particular case, what would you recommend?
For this, yes, this problem particularly was solved by using our high performance anchor, which is called FHB2 M16. So keeping the same diameter, only you change the anchor from mechanical to chemical. So as we all know that chemical anchor works in bonding. So therefore it doesn't put too much stress to the wall of the drill hole. Therefore it was perfectly fine using chemical anchor. So our recommendation, our advice would be always to go with chemical anchor if you have a closer edge from the concrete.
So, Somin, this case is a very critical case, and it's visible in most of the commercial projects at the moment. So, we as Fisher, how can we avoid such critical cases, and how can we provide a cost-effective solution which is efficient as well?
So therefore, we always do a check before we installing. So as you see here, we will go through a introduction of our software, which is called Fixperience.
Let me just let the viewers also know that Fixperience is a free to use software for a limited time, and we would actually want you to download it later after this online seminar, so that what we explain now can be easily understood at this. So Somin, I would like you to guide our viewers. How do we do the registration for this particular software?
Yeah. So as you see in the screen, this is the main window, main interface for the Fixperience software. So if you see, there are three icons which are there in left bottom corner. So you have an option for notepad and pen. So this is basically the registration page. So you go to the registration page, just click, and there are some basic information you have to fill, and please use your email address and make it correct, and just put it okay. You will get an email with a key.
Okay.
So after you fill all your details, you will get a key for registrations, and you see just after that there is a key button. You just click it for registration. So once you get the key in your email, just copy that key from your email and paste it here, and just put okay. You are registered for lifetime. So our recommendation would be always, if you are a first time user, please register. Otherwise, after 30 days, this software will be invalid. So you will not be able to do anything. So always recommendation is to register first, then use it.
So, I mean, we have our viewers from various other regions.
Yeah.
I also see a country icon there. Can you explain about that icon as well?
Yeah, for sure. As you see here on top, there is a country icon. So you just click on it, and you can choose your country, nearest country, and you will get the optimized products available in that particular region. So I would always recommend, if you are in Middle East, Africa, and Pakistan region, then please go with UAE option, and then you will get all the products available in this particular region.
Okay, that's a very good trick, Samin.
Yeah.
Also, how is the updation for this particular software?
In this software, you have a left top corner an icon which is update button. You just click on update, and you will get the notification. So here it is showing that I have an update available. So you just install update, and you just click on install update, and it would be, your new features would be updated in this software.
Okay, that's a very good trick. I hope the viewers have noted it down.
Yeah.
Samin, there are various modules present on the screen at the moment. So can you briefly explain each module?
Yeah. So in this software, there are total 7 modules, as you see. So the first one is CFix. This is basically for concrete and masonry fixings. The next one is Rail Fix. It's basically for the handrail applications. So if you are into handrail and balustrade applications, so you can easily use this software to do your calculation. River Fix, it is basically for civil construction. So if you have a structural connections with river, so it has to be used with our high performance resin anchors. Number 4 is Wood Fix. I would admit that I don't use much of this software, because I don't stay in a country where so much wood construction is there.
Yeah.
So therefore, basically in European countries or in Asian countries, if they have wood construction, they can easily use this software. Coming to the install fix, it is basically for installation of MEP supports. So for any hangers and support like pipes, cable trays, ducts, chilled water pipes, and also for firefighting pipes. So to do the calculation for this particular MEP supports, you can use this software. Now, next one is Mortar Fix. It is very interesting tool where you have estimation process where you can do the calculation in CFix, and you can get the total number for your chemicals. So basically, it's an estimation tool. You can calculate your chemical required for your project. Last but not the least, the channel fix, which is basically for facade industry. So it would be for casting channel.
Okay. That was a very brief introduction, but I think a very valid one where our viewers have kept in mind.
Yeah.
So for our current topic, that is the anchor technology, which particular module will we choose, and can you explain it a bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we will be explaining today the C fix, which would be for the concrete fix. So to go inside it, you just need to double click and you will be landing in the C fix module. So this is basically C fix interface. So if you see, there are a lot of options available in this C fix. So you need to have a trick for this particular thing. So you always go from left to right. So there is a button on tabs on top: substrate, base plate, anchors, profiles, and so on. So you have to start with substrate, you fill all the details, and then go on. So
I think our viewers have noted down this point, and I think it's a very, very important trick.
Yes. So for sure, it is very important. So let's go with substrate. Now, for the substrate, you will be having two types of substrate. One is concrete and masonry. So let's start with concrete. Then once you choose your concrete option, then it will also have to define, you have to define also the concrete type. So as you see here, there are two types of concrete. One is cracked concrete, one is non-cracked concrete. So in this case, I would suggest to go with cracked because this is more effective. And now once I choose cracked concrete, you have to also define that what is the concrete grade. So in this case, you have lot of codes available. So you can choose as per your requirement for the concrete grade. Otherwise, you also have option for customization. So if you want to choose from customization, so you can go to customized option and you select your concrete specimen. So in this case, as you see here, there is cube and cylinder specimen. Let's check. I would select the cube specimen, which is 150 mm, and the concrete strength, let's choose as 40. Okay, so now I'm done for concrete grade. Coming to the reinforcement type. So if you have a dense reinforcement, you can choose that option. Otherwise, you keep it as standard reinforcement. And if you are fixing in any structural elements, structural column or something, so you have to choose as per the edge reinforcement available in your substrate. Coming to the drilling method, there are two types of drilling method. One is hammer drilling and another one is diamond drilling, so which is core drilling. So if you select diamond drilling, here you will be having all the options for anchoring. So as you see, as I choose diamond drilling, here it will appear all the sub products which are approved for diamond drilling. Same thing if I go back to hammer drilling here, so it will show much more products because most of the products are approved for hammer drilling. Then you have a hole condition where you have a dry hole, which is 100% dry. Second one is water saturated hole where you have water with the substrate, like it's a wet concrete. And number 3 is standing water in hole. That means the water is there inside the hole. The important part of this substrate is the temperature. So as you see here, there are some temperature mentioned, long term and short term. These are not ambient temperature. It is basically the substrate temperature. So while installing, the temperature will arise in your substrate. So as a conservative condition in our region, we have made this as by default 50 degree for long term temperature and 72 degree for maximum short-term temperature. So these are the maximum temperature considered for this region. Now moving to the next tab, which is base plate. So as you see here, same like substrate, there are a lot of options for the base plate. So in this case, you have different base plate options. So either you can choose without base plate, so it will calculate only your anchor. And also you will be having option for circular base plate, as you see. Then you will be having ellipse. You will be having triangular base plate, rectangle, hexagon and polygon. So you can choose any type of base plate you want, and also in polygon you can have customization as well. So let's say I will choose here the rectangular base plate. So I would make it like here around 250, and the other side, let's make it 200. So 250 by 200 base plate I have made as a rectangular base plate. Now there is also option to rotate the base plate. So you can rotate the base plate in 45-degree angle as well. So clockwise and anti-clockwise option also is available. Coming to the 2D plate editor. So here you have option that you can edit the base plate. So if you want to edit, you can just put the base plate in this direction and you are done. Yeah, so I can increase the base plate size here. Base plate thickness. So as I see here, there is base plate M8. You can just put, if I see that thickness is very small, so I can change it to 10. This is one option for base plate thickness. Otherwise, also you can choose from the interface itself. So you can also modify the base plate thickness here. Coming to the installation type, there are basically three types of installation, which I already discussed. So in this case, our recommendation would be to give to the software itself to decide what would be the best the installation type. Most important thing is the standoff installation. But in this case, we can do the calculation for standoff installation. But in most of the cases, by default, the software considers that your base plate is on top of the substrate and it is attached to the substrate. So there is no gap in between. However, this is not as per reality, it is not correct, because you will see there is a gap in between base plate and the substrate always. So if you have a gap in between substrate and base plate, you can go with the option called base plate with non-bearing layer. So it's basically the grout, so it has to be filled with non-shrink mortar. So as you see here, I have put a grout which is non-shrink mortar, which has to be non-shrink mortar. So you can change also the grouting thickness as well. So coming to the next part, which is stand-up installation. So if there is no grouting, so it is fully void inside, so that you can choose the next option. So basically I will make it 30 so that you can easily see what is there. So you see there is a gap in between. So in this particular application, you could see in the lamp post base plate application. So always you can see there is a gap between the base plate of the post and the substrate. And the next option is with 3 nut. So as you see, there is, I will just make it a little bit bigger so that you can easily see what exactly it is. Yeah. So as you see, there are 3 nuts options also available. So let's go to the first option, which is flash to the base material, and let's go on. Next option would be anchor layout. So same like base plate, you will be having also different options for anchoring. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All these options are available. Even you can customize the anchoring as well. So as it is 4, let's make it 6. So as you see here, my anchoring is in the other direction. So also I have an option to choose the rotation. So I can rotate it, and I can also make the base plate bigger. However, I will go to the last arrangement, which is with 4 anchors. So this is how we can do it with anchoring. Coming to anchor eccentricity. So here, as you see, there is anchor which is exactly center of the base plate. So if you want to move it, you can also move it clicking these options. So basically you have a dimension from the edge of your base plate. So you can modify this as well. 2D editor. So here you can adjust your anchors. So as you see here, there is option for adding the anchors, move the anchors, and delete the anchors. So if I want to delete some anchors and put another anchors, that also I can do. Let's delete these two and add a new one here. So I can do this as well. Yeah. 2D slotted hole editor. So if you have a slotted hole, you can easily do it in both the direction, parallel or perpendicular. So this would be also one option. You can either do 2 or 4. It is up to your requirement.
So these will be used for sure, right?
In the event of shear load, when you have then these two anchors which are in slotted hole, that would be released from shear loading.
I hope our viewers are noting down these tricks what
Yes.
Saumen's mentioning.
Yeah.
Yes, Saumen.
For sure. Now going to the annular gap automatic handling, annular gap filled and annular gap not filled. Annular gap is basically the gap between anchor and the base plate. So when your anchor is installed, you can define also that whether this gap has to be filled or not filled. So these are options which are available. So if you want that gap has to be filled, you can see here in that you have a orange ring with your nut. So basically this has to be filled, and this has to be filled, this gap has to be filled with a non-shrink mortar. So better you just keep it as annular gap automatic handling, so that software itself will decide whether it is required or no.
That's a very good trick, Saumen.
Yeah. Yes. Now going to the profile. So there are different profiles available in this software. So most of them are European profile. However, you can see there are also like L profile, T profile, Z profile, also rectangular and square profiles. So also there is an option for customization. So you can customize your profiles as well. As you see here, when I click the customization here, all these tabs will be live. Now you can also modify these options, like I will make it as 130 and height, let's make it 15, and with the thickness also you can change it. Yeah. Same like base plate and anchors, also you have option for rotation of your profile. So you can rotate the profile in the direction you want. Profile eccentricity. This is also one good thing which is available. So in this case, if your profile, if you want to make it eccentric from the center of your base plate, so you can always have option to make it eccentric. So as I put here 10 mm from X direction, and let's say another 10 mm from Y direction. So this you can do it also.
It's very, very interesting trick, Saumen.
Yeah.
So till now we have learned all the inputting of the data for the software.
Yeah.
Now I would like to ask you, what is the latest codes and designs what is used for the anchor designing?
Yeah, for that we need to move to the next tab, which is load and design methods. So in this, basically you have all the options for the codes. So as you see, the first option is ETAG, which is European Technical Authority Guideline. So then you have an option called ENSO. This is basically engineering solution developed by Fischer. It has more flexibility while designing. Then you have also Eurocode and also American code ACI as well. So all these options are available. As per your project requirement, you can use any of them and do the calculation. But for here, we will choose ETAG and we'll do the calculations for this particular case. Coming to the option for the actions. So basically there are two types of loading available. One is design actions and characteristics action. So if your load is factored, so you can directly put your design load. If it is non-factored, so you have option to choose characteristic action, and whatever the factor of safety you want to put, you can put for the factor of safety as well. So let's do it with design actions here, and we can enter the load. Other thing I will also mention, there are different types of loading as well. As you see in this, there are static load verification for the fire resistance. So if you have a anchoring which is under fire, you have to design, so you have to choose this option. Then if you have earthquake condition or seismic condition or accidental condition, so you have to choose the third one. And fatigue actions alternating and fatigue actions pulsating. So these are basically for dynamic loading. Now coming to enter loading. So once you put enter loading, so here you have a tab where you can put your load. So let's say here the first tab, which is for tension load. Second one is shear in X direction, shear in Y direction, and then the moments. So let's put the load here. Let's say I will put 5 kilonewton in tension, 2 kilonewton in shear, and so on. So this is a load case which you can define here, or you can also define the load in the interface itself. So all these options are available. Apart from this, for the same arrangement, if you have different load cases, so also you have option to add. So here, as you see, there are number 2 load cases. Yes. So here also you can put the load case available with you. Yeah. Fine. So also the other option would be that if you have an output from your StatPro or RSTAP and you need to put multiple load cases, so we have a format which you can fill it with your load cases and insert the full Excel file in it. It will show you all the load cases and it will give you the result for all the cases. So basically this is the trick where you can input your Excel sheet and it will give full result for your arrangement.
I think that's a very, very good trick, and I hope our viewers have noted it down. Salman, also I wanted to ask you another question is where I do not see any icons for specifying the edge distance or the spacing between the anchor. Can you guide our viewers how can that be done?
Very good question, Ansil. So as you see here, there are no tabs which mentions the edge distance, so that you have to do it from the interface itself. So as you see here, there are edges. So you just need to double click it and you will get the edge. So let's say I am installing this base plate in a 500 by 500 column. So I have to make this as a column. Like here, the options are from the center of the plate. So I'll make it 250 in each side. And here we go. So I have a 500 by 500 column and base plate is in the middle. Also, there is option to choose for the depth of your concrete. So you can also modify from the center, from the interface itself.
It's a very, very important parameter and
another
good trick.
Yes, another tool is like anchor selection. So you have all the anchor selections. You can choose, either you can choose here mechanical anchor. So you just click mechanical anchor. So all the mechanical anchors will show only. If you want to do calculation with chemical anchors, so you just choose chemical anchors. All the options for chemical anchoring would be available here.
That's a very vital trick. Yeah. And I hope our viewers are noting down all the tricks said by Salman during this seminar.
Yeah. So moving on, you have also option for multiple design. So once you go to multiple design, you will see there is one tab for multiple design of anchors. Basically, this says that whatever anchors will pass for this particular arrangement, it will show. So as you see here in this, there are all green anchors which are passing for this particular arrangement, and you can choose the most economical anchor from this particular view. So here, as I see, this is a small diameter anchor which is passing. So let's consider this in my calculation in it. So it reflected already here. Also, for note down, if you see, there is a versions available. So galvanized version, stainless steel version, and high corrosion resistance steel version also available. So you can choose based on your requirement and the diameter and your length of your anchor. So these all are there in the interface itself.
That's very good, Saumin, and thank you for sharing that with us. Saumin, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Now, we are only talking about the anchors and anchor arrangement and so forth. Is there anything in our software, that Fixperience software, which highlights for base plate designs?
Yes, it is. For this one, you have to go to the load calculation and printout options. So you have a unique option here called FE design. So this is basically a finite element design, which is installed here. So once you click here, it will also give you the detail which you need. So now, as you see, base plate material options are here. Let's say if you have a material grade of S275, so you select your base plate material, and you see there are options where you can ask the software to calculate the minimum base plate thickness. So here you just click on calculate minimum base plate thickness and show distribution states. It will give you the required thickness of your base plate. So as you see here, it is saying that you need a 9 mm thickness of your base plate. So now you can apply thickness, so it will reflect in the interface.
Okay. I hope our viewers are noting down these points. Also, this is one of our USP of the Fixperience software.
Yeah. So now coming to the end, as you see here, there are some other options available. So CAD export, which is very important tool, I feel, for this particular arrangement. If you have a soft drawing and you need to put the anchor arrangement, so you can just go to the CAD export, where you can get the 3D and 2D view. So as you see in the screen, you have a 3D view options available, so you can export it easily. And also there is option for 2D preview as well. So once you click in 2D preview, that also would appear here. So both can be exportable, and you can put it in your actual drawing for approval.
Then that's very interesting.
Yes, and while you are designing this software, so you can also have options for project data. So once you go to the project data, you can select here your project name and detail. So you can add your project detail in this button. You also have option for client, architect, contractor, design office, and control office. So let's say I will go to the design office, and I will also select who is doing the calculation. Let's say I'm doing the calculation, so I have already put my detail here. So I'll select my detail, and it would appear in my output. So now I will go to the printout option. So if I print out, you would see the complete report for this particular design. If you want to have some comments, you can also put comments here for the particular design. And do not forget to include FE calculation of the base plate. So just tick it here and then go to show PDF.
So in the meanwhile, can you also explain our viewers the report, what will be generated?
Yeah, so this is how the report would be generated, like this. And you will be having, as I put my design office option, so it will appear here, and our subsidiary details here. Then you will be having design specifications, so what all anchors has been used for this particular design, and the anchor step and the code used for this design. Then you have the actual geometry of the arrangement and the input data, basically the codes used and the concrete grade, concrete type, so drill hole type. So whatever input we have put, it will reflect here. And these are the loading. So these are our loading actions, which we already mentioned in the interface. Most importantly, here you will get also the results for the anchors. So those would be the anchor forces. So each anchor is sharing this much loading. So as you see 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So that means this first anchor, second anchor is taking 6.43 and 6.55 in tension. Similarly, shear also would be mentioned if you have a shear load. Coming to the tension load check. So for the tension load check, you will be having different checks like steel failure. So as you see here, the beauty of this report is always, if you see, it is mentioned with the formulas. So basically it is very easy to understand that what is the formula and how it is being calculated. So for this tension load, you will be having steel failure, pull out failure, and also concrete cone failure. So these all checks have been done for tension, and for shear also it would be same. Then you come to the combination of the load. So as you see here, there are combinations, and as you see, I have 98% of utilization, which is below 1. So my report is fine. So it is safe connection. So another thing is also, as we already did the calculation, that there is a base plate thickness check. So in this case, all these check and stress distribution would be mentioned in the report.
So Soumya, now if somebody on site has this particular report,
yeah,
what would you recommend that person to see in this report?
Yeah, basically in this case, it would be very useful if you just take a printout of your last page of the report, and you will get the full data, because after design you come to the installation part.
Yes.
So here you will get all the installation data, and as you see here, anchor used and the installation details like M8 anchor is being used, and drill hole diameter for this particular anchor, how much it has to be, that is also mentioned. The depth of the drill hole, also you will get the torque detail as well. So these all required installation details would be available in the last page of your printout, so report, so that you can easily give to your foreman and they can do their installation very easily. Apart from that, also you have the base plate details. So here you can have the coordinate wise base plate, so you can just give this base plate details to your procurement for the CNC machine to procure your base plate.
It's
For
very
your
informative.
requirement.
Yeah. That is very informative. Someone, I must ask you this question. Like, you've been working in this region for a really long time. What do you think is the most complex substrate you have come across in the recent time?
Yeah, in this case, I would say mostly the masonry items. So as you see here, substrate, we have selected first the concrete, but also you have option for masonry. So basically the masonry base materials would be lightweight. So designing in masonry, it is bit challenging. So we have options also in this software, starting with insulation, insulated block. We have also solid block. We have hollow block, and as well as radiated concrete. So this is basically the it known as white block, but it is autoclave radiated concrete block. So here doing a calculation, it's a bit challenging. However, our software gives this option to choose this ASC block and make the calculation here same like concrete designing.
That's very informative, and I hope our viewers have noted down all the tips and tricks what someone has mentioned today. So this brings me to my last question. Someone, what do you think as a Fisher technical engineer? What value additions do you provide to the customer as a technical person?
For sure, first thing would be always we have a sophisticated, easy to handle software. So anytime if you have a design calculation to be done, you can, as I have explained to you, you can easily do within a few minutes. So this is a very easy tool where you can check your anchors. Number two, I would say that we have a very big product range. So from there you can choose any anchors, either steel anchors or chemical anchors or nylon anchors. So you have all the options available for every substrate. And also I feel that we have very high professional engineers in our region. So anywhere you go, they will be available there. So if you need any help from them, so you just contact our engineers. They will be supporting you then and there. And also we do a lot of value engineering. So if you want to have a cost effective solution, so for that also we are always available with our big product range. Yes. And we can give the solution.
Yes. So thank you, Soman, for guiding all our viewers with the tips and tricks of experience, as well as answering the common questions what were addressed previously.
Yeah.
I would like all the viewers to submit their polls on the feedback form popping up on the screen. And also with the time, we will take in 2 to 3 questions.
Yeah.
So we have 2 questions on the screen. Mr. Sajid has asked that what is the edge distance recommendation for edge distances for chemical anchors?
So it depends case to case basically. So normally it's supposed to be 1.5 times of your effective anchorage depth. However, we have to also see the anchor which you are using. Based on that, you can choose your edge distance.
Okay, thank you for answering that, and I hope, Mr. Sajid, you are satisfied with the answer. Also, we have an anonymous attendee who has mentioned that could you please explain the MEP module after this? Currently, we are talking, or our topic for discussion for today was the anchor technology and how designing of anchors would be done easier on fixed experience. We would have another topic seminar coming up for the MEP module, and we will take that in detail. We also have few questions coming up. That is, let's suppose if the substrate is steel, then how would you design the anchor, or what is the procedure we would follow?
Yes, may I know the name of the?
Yeah, can you please mention your name? That would be more better for us to answer.
So
as well.
In this case, sir, you are talking about the steel fixings basically, but unfortunately, we don't have a solution for steel to steel connection, because our expertise is always in concrete fixings. So we are whatever anchors we have, it is only for concrete fixation.
Yeah, and moreover, we do the steel to concrete fixing details. Yes. So I hope that answers your question. There's another question from Mr. Prakash, and it's mentioned that I have MotorFix on my mobile app. Do you have any updated apps? You would have to go to your App Store or Google Play Store, whichever, and check for the updates manually, because it would depend upon which version you're using on your mobile app. So those were a few of the questions. If you all want us to provide you a link for our fixed experience software, please mention it in the poll, in the question tabs as well. We will send you the direct link for downloading the software. Again, let me remind all the viewers that it is only a free to use software for a certain time. So the faster you grab it, the faster you can use it. And okay, so I think.
Any more questions?
Any more questions? We have a slot for taking one last question. Okay, so I would request all the viewers to check the poll tab and give in your feedbacks. I hope you have filled in your feedback, and we would love to hear your suggestions and comments on this online seminar. And if you have any questions or anything, please feel free to contact us. You can find all our product ranges on the website, that is www.fischer.ae, that is fischer.ae. We have one more question coming up. Do you conduct trainings? Yes, we do conduct trainings. We do on-site training as well as normal training. We also have a range of CPD approved trainings. That is, if you need it for your professional development, we do have trainings which give you extra credits. And we do prefer physical trainings, but depending on the customer requirement, yes. But if you have any requirement for a training, please drop in an email so that we can look and we can take it further. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, even online also you can give training as well.
Any more questions?
No, so far.
Okay, I hope you all are filling your feedback forms. Okay. Is it
Please share the
applicable?
email.
Is it applicable for through and through connection? Is it applicable for through and through connection? We're talking about the anchor connection.
May I know, Mr. Ray, like you are talking about through and through connection for exactly what
Which application?
which application? What is the substrate, or what is the base plate? Is it okay?
Okay. Okay. Since we have lost a few connections, yes. See, Mr. Ray, we would want you to send us an email and then we can get back. The email would be marketing@fischer.ae. You can always send in your email there and we will reply to your questions.
If it is concrete wall from both sides, no, actually you can support your plate in either side of your concretes.
Okay. There is also one question: which anchor is most preferred in masonry?
Yeah.
Again, would you like to answer that?
Which anchors is most preferred? Actually, we have different options from nylon, from chemical, and also we have mechanical anchors as well. So if you give us the particular application, so we can choose the anchors based on your application.
Yes. Mr. Sam has asked a question. Do you have fixing screws or bolts for aluminium to aluminium? We do have a few bolts in regards to that, but we would want to know which application you're particularly in talking about and which sizes and all. So please send in your inquiry to marketing@fischer.ae so that we can address this to you.
Yeah.
And I think we have almost come to an end of this online seminar. I would request you to please send in your questions via the email mentioned, that is marketing@fischer.ae, and we would get back to you with the answers for that. The email ID is being mentioned in the in the question and answer tab. So please have a look at it and share in your inquiry so that we can get back to you individually. So thank you all for joining our online seminar. We look forward to having you in our next online seminar, and till then, take care and stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone.